Good morning, kids. It's beef pot roast day. Let me show you what I got out for the cook. It's going to be good. Okay, I've got the oven preheating to 350. Not quite there yet. I have a big stew pot with a lid on it. This is about a 6 quart. I have my pot roast. Found it on sale. Put it in a freezer in a nice storage container, and I've pulled it out and it's thawed in the refrigerator for a couple days, and it's ready to go now. I have some beef fat left over from a previous cook, some garlic, some carrots, onion. This is both red and white. 2 white, 1 red, only because that's what I had in the pantry. Some celery and some leftover potatoes. Got a little bit of red wine cooking stuff back there for the cook as well. But I wanted to show you this here too. This is something I normally don't show you on the video. This is an old salad container, and I use this when I'm at the cutting board doing all my food prep. That way I make only 1 trip to the bin when it's done. So I just want to show you this. As soon as the pot gets hot enough here for us to start melting our beef fat down, then we'll start our cook. Okay, so the beef fat is hot. I'm going to put its skin down like that. Oh. That's all right. That's what we wanted. We wanted to hear it sear. So what I want to do now to keep from making a bigger mess in the kitchen, I'm going to put a lid on this thing for just a little bit and let that sear on that bottom. Be back in a bit. Alrighty, so it's been in the pan for just a few moments. And here's a good test for you. When you pick it up, if it doesn't lift off the bottom very well, then it doesn't have a good sear. So just leave it alone for a little bit, because what you want to do is to have that beautiful sear on the bottom. When it picks up easily, which mine almost does, so I'm not going to force it. I'm going to leave it on there, let it sear a little bit longer, and then we'll come back and flip it. Alright, so I've checked it, and it's going to lift fairly easy without much effort. And you see that beautiful brown there? That's what we want. I'm going to flip it over. The same thing happened on the other side there. And we'll let that cook for a little bit until we get that beautiful sear. Okay, we're back. So, got a good sear on the other side. I've checked it. It looks good. What I'm going to do now is go ahead and start adding the vegetables that I want to cook. And we'll get this ready in the oven. The oven's already up to temp at 350. We'll go from there. So the first thing I'm going to do is add about 5 to 6 cloves of garlic. We're just going to pop those guys down in the bottom there. Next thing I'm going to do is put my onions in there. Just kind of move them around so that they're in there all around. Then I'm going to put in the carrots, because they're a little harder vegetable. And yes, the pot will be very full, but that's okay. Just kind of move that around a little bit. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the potatoes. I don't put a lot of potatoes in because we're fighting some diabetes in our house. But if you roast them, it seems to be better for you. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to add the celery. Oh yeah, that's going to be a big full pot of stuff, which is good. And again, I'm just going to smooth that out a little bit over here. And what I did in the meantime is I took about 2 teaspoons of a beef bouillon and warmed it up in about 3 cups of water, only because I don't want it super salty. I'm going to add that on top of all of this. Very slowly. That'll give us a nice base in there. And then I want to also add a 1/4 cup of the red cooking wine down in there, and that'll help tenderize the beef. And then we'll put the lid on this and stick it in the oven for about 350 for about an hour, and then turn the temperature down to about 225 for the remainder of the day, which means it'll bake probably about 5 or 6 hours and be time for dinner. So I'm going to do that now, and you won't see anything more on this for a while until we get further into the cook. Well, we're back. I just took it out of the oven. Ooh, that looks pretty. And just going to take a spoon and pull that aside a little bit. And take our meat thermometer and put it in there to where we can see it. Get sideways there. Oh yeah, we're good. We're done. Alright, so I'm just going to let it sit and rest for a while until it's time for dinner. I'll show you what that looks like after a while when it's served up.